Women in their 60s are confident in so many ways. We've been through all kinds of things in our lives that have shaped our personality and given us a wisdom and perspective that really help us to cope with a lot of situations. We're very bold and brave and courageous when it comes to living our lives. But there is one thing that we're often very nervous about, and that is how we look. We're very insecure about our appearance. And I want to talk to you today about why that is, why women over 50, 60 tend to be very hesitant about having their picture taken or their video recorded, and how we can deal with that, how we can move beyond it. My name is Margaret Manning. I'm with 60andMe, and I'm so happy to have you here with us today and sharing this conversation. This is one that I'm particularly interested in myself. It's something that I have discovered myself with our community of women and personally as well. Now, our show today is brought to you by International Living. International Living is a company that helps people think about retiring overseas. So if you're thinking about moving abroad to a country other than the one you're living in and you've got lots of questions, go out to their website, internationalliving.com/60andme, and you can ask them to send you a copy of their latest report. They do all kinds of reports and research on retiring overseas. They're a really great resource if that's on your mind. Okay, so let's talk about how we view ourselves, how we are insecure about our appearance in our 60s and 70s and 80s. Now, Andrea Flaumer is one of our bloggers. I love Andrea's writing. She's a fashion consultant, a fashion blogger. She has her own book on the topic, but she did a video series a little while ago where she reached out to older women to interview them. And these were people that were experts in their field around fashion and beauty. And she thought, well, first of all, she was very insecure herself about doing that. I mean, she was asking them to come and spend time with her and talk to her about their vision, their view of these topics. And so she felt very nervous herself. But she went out and reached out, and many of them agreed. She had like 70, 90 people she phoned and emailed, and 27 agreed to be interviewed. And she put them on her YouTube channel. You should check out the channel, actually. The interviews are great. I mean, Andrea is a very wonderful woman. She's got a great sensibility about fashion and beauty. And check out her channel on YouTube. It's really cool. Anyway, these interviews were there. And what she found out, though, was much more important than the interviews themselves. What she found out was how these women who were leaders, experts, very, confident women were so nervous about getting in front of a camera. Many of them had never done it before and in an interview setting, and they were just really, really nervous. Andrea says the same. She says when she started to do these interviews, she was like, sweaty and nervous and just really panicked just to have the thought of having her picture on a video. And I really, relate to that. In fact, I will tell you my story, which is when I started doing our videos on YouTube, we now have over 1,600 videos. I've recorded so many on all kinds of topics, and I love doing them. I really, really do. But when I started my very first interview with someone, because I've done a number of about maybe over several hundred, like one-on-one interviews with people, it was with Cindy Joseph. Now, Cindy was a world famous model. She now passed away last year, unfortunately. She's such a great loss. She was an amazing woman, but she was a model who was recruited in her 60s. Anyway, beautiful woman. She was my first interview, and I was so nervous. And I look at the video now and I laugh because it was just me. I was actually cowering back. I was so nervous to get up in front of the camera and just talk with Cindy. She was far more confident than me. But anyway, so I can relate to Andrea's story. Everyone she spoke to was insecure. Everyone worried, how do they look? How's my makeup? Is this color okay on me? How's the necklace? They were just totally, like needing reassurance and support. She said it was amazing. And as Andrea reminds us, we've done so much in our lives. We've raised children. We've been through sadness. We've experienced loss. We've been loved. We've lost. We've been divorced maybe once or twice. We have had accidents that have created maybe a physical situation. But, we've dealt with it. We've moved on. We've moved through. We've moved over around these challenges. We've been strong. But when it comes to putting a camera in front of us and having our pictures taken, No, it's like, no, it's just terrifying just to be, showing up on a screen. We've actually, funny enough, and Ariane Poole and I, Ariane's a makeup artist, have done a video on this and how to look great on Skype calls, because now people are doing Skype so much, and with their grandkids, of course, who pretty much don't care. They're the one person we don't worry about. They don't judge. But if we're doing a job interview, for example, and we are doing a video, or just doing it for our own purposes, we worry about it. So reflections on insecurity and self-compassion. I invite you to read this article actually by Andrea. It's a really lovely article, and she talks about, how we know that we shouldn't care. Intellectually, we know we shouldn't care what people think about us. And many people say that in our community. No, I don't really mind what people say about me now. It doesn't really matter. It's okay. But when we get right down to it, we know that first impressions matter. We know that within the 7 seconds, I think it is, people make an impression of us, and that is impossible to change. It's one of those things that we absolutely have to recognize as being a reality. So we worry about it. And, we don't always have the courage to be. We never have the courage to be ourselves and actually, live, this kind of, just detach from judgment and detach from worrying. We have to learn to love ourselves. One of our cards, actually, I was just looking for this card in our deck of cards, is Love Your Wrinkles. We look at a picture. This is in our affirmational deck of cards, which is just a really inspirational 46 cards. I love them. But this one is Love Your Wrinkles. It's like, yes, love those wrinkles. Oh my goodness. I look at my eyes sometimes. I think, wow, what happened? But the thing is to love them, love your wrinkles, and don't worry. The signs of aging are just kind of a reassurance that you've lived, you've enjoyed, you've laughed, you've cried, and not be worried about it. But this is insecurity, this courage to be. Just to simply be is so powerful. And at the heart of it all is to get over it and to get through it is self-love. Self-compassion. Love yourself. There's another card in the deck on that. Love yourself. And know that you own your body. You own everything that you are. You own the totality of who you are. Good and bad, perfect, flawed perfection. And I love that quote, of course, that we often quote, which is, I think it was Leonard Cohen or Ernest Hemingway or someone that said, we are all broken. We are all cracked, broken, flawed, and that is how the light gets in. And that is the light that you see in your pictures. If you talk with confidence and you talk with passion and self-compassion, it won't matter what the wrinkles look like or what you're wearing or anything. The glow will be from your heart. And I think that's what Andrea is trying to talk about. And she captured it in the women she spoke to because she cared. Because she was authentic. And, the women, I obviously follow a lot of people on YouTube and other bloggers and people that are doing great things for over 60 women. And the thing that really is, most of the people who are so successful are just supremely natural. They are just not necessarily beautiful and classic way, but they're supremely natural and supremely authentic. And I think that's the secret. That's the secret to having confidence when you're in front of a camera or in front of a video and talking to anybody. It doesn't have to be online even or on video. Maybe it's time to love ourselves, Andrea says. And I think that's a wonderful offer. Love yourself and accept yourself. And I'm just so happy she wrote this article. Check it out. It's got some great comments and confidence builders. There's lots of things that we should stop doing in our 60s. We've written about this, things to stop doing, and there's things to start doing. And one of the things to start doing is to love yourself. Accept your wrinkles, love your wrinkles, love your experience and all that's brought you to where you are today. So how do you think that the age of social media has impacted the way that we want to be perceived? So funny, I often see people doing selfies and we become so good at that selfie, that smile, that frozen in time look. We've gotten so conscious of how we post our pictures online, what we look like. So how much do you think social media has actually affected this? Why do you think cameras and videos are just so intimidating? Are you nervous in front of the camera? Do you always go, no, no, no? I have a friend, I won't mention her name, but she's always like, whenever I say, let me take your picture, no. And she puts her face up, hands to her face. Do you do that? I would really like to have a conversation on this topic. I think it's very, very important because in order to get out there in the world and enjoy our lives fully in our 60s, 70s, 80s, we have to have that self-confidence and self-love. So leave your comments below. Are you worried about cameras? How much does social media affect the way you look at yourself these days? Have a wonderful day, everybody. Be confident, be well, go out and have a great day. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.